welcome back to my channel. Veronica here. How are you all doing? You guys, I have gotten so many requests about a video on how I got a freezer full of breast milk. People ask me, how do you do it? I did that with my first, my second, and this one right now. First of all, I have always been that person that don't worry about weight loss or trying to snap back while I'm breastfeeding, okay? For my son, I breastfed for a year. He stopped taking directly at 10 months. For my daughter, I breastfed for 2 years. She stopped taking directly at 22 months. She actually didn't stop. We stopped her because 22 months, almost 2 years old. We wanted to make sure that by the time she's 2 years old, she is off it. So 22 months, we stopped. But I still had some in the freezer that I was giving her, okay? And during this whole time, I was eating. I make sure that I have my freezer full, and I'm not just saying it. I have a freezer full of breast milk first before I start worrying about losing weight, okay? With my son at 9 months was when I started working on my body. At that time, I'd already filled up my freezer with milk, and I will tell you how I pump and everything. And with my daughter, the same thing. I always wait 9 months to a year when I know that I'm about to stop pumping and the baby can eat other things now. Then at that point, I start worrying about baby. So now that we've talked about that, if you're the type that wants to snap back or start doing fit farm or diets and stuff, then don't worry about this video because it's gonna affect your breast milk. Exercising will affect your breast milk. Eating, your diets, skipping some food is gonna affect your breast milk, okay? So for me personally, I worry about feeding my child first and we'll take care of the body later, okay? This time around, I'm doing the same thing with my daughter. I got a freezer full. This time around, I'm doing the same thing that I did with my daughter. And no, I'm not taking any lactation cookies. I'm not taking any fenugreek. I'm not taking anything to help with the milk supply. I just feed my baby and I feed myself. I eat real food. Now, what I don't eat is fufu. You guys know how I feel about poundo. I don't eat poundo though, but I eat my eba, I eat my rice, I eat my pasta, I eat everything. I eat my proteins as well. I eat my carbs, I eat my healthy fats, and I eat my proteins. I eat everything, and I'm also still taking my prenatal vitamins as advised by my doctor, okay? But when it comes to like anything else, like to help with the milk supply, like any medication or supplements and stuff, I'm not doing any of that. I am just feeding my body real food. And trust me, the breastfeeding and the pumping all of that milk alone is helping me lose weight. I am losing weight on a constant. At this point, it's actually like, you can see my face is not as big as when I was pregnant. The breastfeeding alone is even helping me. My belly is like, let me not toot my own horn, but like my belly doesn't look like I just had a baby. So whatever I'm eating, I am burning. Don't be scared of, oh, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to gain weight. I know we all don't want to gain weight, but we can actually make sure that the baby is well fed, make sure the baby is getting all the nutrient that they need. And how did I improve my milk supply? Right from the hospital, right? Babies like to cluster feed on the first or second day of delivery. My 2 kids did the first day of delivery. They cluster fed. They just want to eat. I remember with my second child, my first daughter, I remember asking the nurse, like, can you give me bottle formula, because I feel like this baby is not getting enough, because she just wants to breastfeed, and it looks like I'm not producing, and it feels like I'm not producing enough for her. And God bless this nurse, because I remember her telling me, do not give the bottle. If you know that you're going to breastfeed, just keep giving her. Don't worry, she's getting something. She doesn't need that much anyway. So for that 24 hours, I sacrificed and just let the baby just cluster feed. Like when I say cluster feed, every 5-10 minutes, you just want to get on the breast. Do not give pacifier, okay? I didn't give pacifier. None of my kids took pacifier, by the way. I didn't give pacifier. My breast was the pacifier. And this made my body wants to produce milk because the baby wants it. The baby is latching and wants it and is enjoying it. So the hormone in my body was also, the hormone was alerting my body to release milk for the baby. Before I got discharged from the hospital, my milk supply had already come. By the second day, my milk supply came with my daughter. With my first, I keep saying my daughter, I'm not used to the two of them now. With my first daughter, by the second day, we were there for 2 days. By the second day, my milk supply came like in full. I was engorged at the hospital. With my second daughter, with this daughter, my milk came also the second day, but we were already at home because we were only there for 1 day. Things have changed. COVID, they send you home 24 hours if everything is fine. So we got discharged 24 hours. By the time I came home the next day, I got engorged. So I feel like breastfeeding and letting them cluster feed, whenever they ask, just give them the breast. It helps your body want to release breast milk. Even at the hospital, I remember the lactation was pressing my nipple, and it was a lot of milk coming out, and she's like, oh my god, you're already producing a lot of milk. This is from the first 24 hours. Okay, so if you want to improve your breast milk, maybe for your next baby, or you're pregnant right now, make sure that when you're at the hospital and the baby wants to cluster feed, just put the nipple in the baby's mouth, let the baby suck. That would help prepare your body to make a lot of milk. Okay, so another thing that I do is when I'm breastfeeding on one breast, I use a Haakaa. I'll put the picture here, what the Haakaa silicone, I thought I brought it into my office, but I didn't. But I'll put this picture here, what the Haakaa silicone milk collector looks like. I just attach it to the other boob. So let's say I'm breastfeeding the baby on this boob. On this other boob, I just attach it there, and it just collects milk. It's like a suction. It just suction out milk. You guys see how much colostrum I got? I was breastfeeding baby on one breast, and I decided to use this because I felt my dress getting wet. So I decided to use this as my, to collect the milk. And I cannot believe how much colostrum I got. Like, this is from day 2. I delivered this baby yesterday, and I just got home. We just got discharged, and I already have this much colostrum. She's sleeping right now. I'm gonna feed her this. I got almost 1 ml of colostrum without pumping, or just from this Haakaa thing that you suction your breast with. Like, imagine if I actually pump, but I'm not in the mood to pump tonight, so I'm just gonna feed her this while my breast fill up again. Excuse the stuff, it's from my IV from the hospital. I still have the gel sticking here. I'm about to go shower now. But yeah, look at that. I cannot believe this. All of you that don't believe in this thing, I believe in it so much. I used it for my first, second, and I'm gonna use it again this time, and it's already proven itself to be working. Like, I'm so happy. I'm gonna feed this to the baby right now because I don't want to store it. It's colostrum. I need the baby to get all the immunities and all the nutrients that she needs. Okay, so when she wakes up and she wants to feed, I'm gonna feed her this, and I'll feed her from my breast as well, while I try to suction the other breast like I did and got this. Like I said, this is day 2, and my milk is already coming. I'm so happy. Right. And while you're emptying, baby's emptying here, you're emptying here, guess what? Your body's gonna replace it, because what you take is what, if you don't take, your body's not gonna give you. Do you understand? If you don't empty it, your body will not give you. So another thing is, after you breastfeed, make sure that you pump, because the baby might not get everything out. Make sure you pump everything out. So this was what I did with my daughter. I'm not doing it this time because I'm using the Haakaa. So I put the baby here, breastfeed the baby, put the Haakaa on this side, and then I switch. And sometimes I get almost 10 ounces. I get 4 ounces from here, 4 ounces from here. If I go back again and put the Haakaa, I get more. I've gotten about 10 ounces before, or even more. I'll put a picture here. I have a lot of pictures. I'll put a picture here of what I got just from the Haakaa alone, just from collecting milk that would have poured or even suction it out. Okay, so with my daughter, I did a lot of pumping. I will pump after she eats. I will pump 2 hours later. I will pump middle of the night. But this time around, with this daughter, with my second daughter, I'm sorry if I keep saying that, I'm not used to that yet. With my second daughter, I said I wasn't going to pump that much because I don't have the energy, okay? So what I do is I pump in the morning when I wake up, because overnight I'm already very full. I pump in the morning when I wake up and I get a lot of milk, you guys. I've gotten up to 30 ounces before in the morning. I got 30 ounces of breast milk. So imagine that from one pump, okay? I'll pump in the morning, I'll pump in the afternoon, I'll pump at night before going to bed. In between these pumps, I will breastfeed, and when I breastfeed, I use the Haakaa, okay? So I'm constantly emptying. Even though I'm not doing it every 2 hours, I'm constantly emptying. It allows your body to make more milk pretty much for the baby, okay? Once you empty, the body's like, oh, the baby needs to breastfeed. Let me replace what just came out, okay? And when you pump, make sure you empty all the way, okay? Don't just pump 5 minutes, 10 minutes and get up. You guys, I empty my breast. I massage and make sure I'm getting everything out. And trust me, in the next 30 minutes, 1 hour, I'm already feeling my breast getting full again, okay? It's just that this time around, I'm just like, I don't have energy. It's 3 kids now that I have to run around, with. It's 3 kids now that I have to do stuff for and run around with, so I don't have time to be pumping every 2 hours. If I did every 2 hours, I will have 2 freezer full, and I'm not just saying it. But I decided that this time I'm just gonna pump those 3 times, and in between still give the baby the breast milk, so that way she's not only getting bottle, she can also get the breast, and we can bond from there, okay? So in a whole day, I get about 50 ounces that I'm saving. I save about 50 ounces of milk. That's different, or that's separate from what baby gets directly from me. That's just from what I pump. So I get about 30 in the morning. I get about 10 ounces during the day, and I get about 20. So somewhere about almost 60 ounces to be honest, but I save about 50 in the freezer. And like I said, I give baby about 10 during the day, plus breastfeeding directly from my breast. So when I pump all of this, like my 30 ounces sometimes, at the least I have pumped is maybe 16 ounces at once, the least. And the most so far, is that when I'm making this video, the most I have pumped is 30 ounces. So what I do is I save the rest. I put them, I'll show you right here. I put them in the milk storage bag, and I put that in the freezer for days when I have to go back to work, because my maternity leave is gonna end someday, and I would have to go back to work so that my mom can feed the baby, because my mom is helping me right now, God bless her. She can feed the baby the milk in the freezer while I'm at work. When it's time to start feeding the baby, we start with the older ones. The breast milk is good in the freezer for 6 to 12 months. You have a whole year of saving the breast milk if you want, but I will start using the older ones first, like the first ones that I pump, and then from there we'll go to the newest, okay? So that's what I do. I just empty out my breast, pump as much as I can, also pump after breastfeeding, and you will see your body producing more milk for you, okay? I can bet on this Haakaa silicone milk collector. It worked for me with my kids. Trust me to do it this time. I remember one of my friends was telling me, Veronica, how do you make all this milk? And she could only get 5 ounces the whole day. And I asked her, like, when you're breastfeeding, do you try to empty out your breast? Have you heard of the Haakaa? And she said that she's heard of it. She uses it, but it hurts. Some people don't like it. Some people say it works. Some people say it doesn't work. For me, it works perfectly, okay? And you can see it from the pictures. You can see it from the pictures that I showed you guys. So I told her to try it again, and I told her how to use it and when to use it. When you're breastfeeding, just use it on the other. And that night she tried it. I remember her sending me a text message saying that, oh my God, this is the first time. That was the first time that she would ever get 3 ounces from an Haakaa. She put it on and she got 3 ounces. Imagine somebody that said the whole 24 hours when she pumps, she would only get 5 ounces. And just from one feeding, she got 3 ounces from the Haakaa while breastfeeding her baby. You get, okay. The Haakaa company, they're not paying me for this. I'm just telling you what works for me to help somebody else out there. This was how I got my freezer full of breast milk. I will show you guys how I actually store them and put everything in freezer, okay? I will show you guys everything in this video. So watch up to the end, okay? Watch up to the very end. I'm gonna add the clips here, okay? Updates, my freezer is obviously full. and I don't have any more space. I'm supposed to remove these ones and put them in smaller Ziploc bags like that before putting them in the big Ziploc bag, but I don't have any more space to do that for me to even empty these racks and start putting more. So what I did is I just kind of reduced my pumping to where I just pump the amount that I feed her throughout the day, and I only breastfeed her directly once in a while, so that way my boob is not hurting, so I pump them out. But yes, that's what we're doing. I'm not adding any more to this, and I for sure I'm not buying any more freezer. She is 3 months old in a week, so she's 3 months and a week. Yeah, she's 3 months and a week and some days. So and we already have a freezer full. We've had a freezer full since she was 2 months old. I've just been working ways around it, putting them in some little areas. Like you can see, this is full. This thing goes all the way down. It is deep. It's a lot of milk, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just start feeding her from here, so that way this doesn't go to waste. I know they're not going to go to waste. She has a long way until she's 1 year old, but I'll still be directly breastfeeding her. We'll just take one of these, mix it with her rice cereal and feed her like I did with the other ones from 6 months old. But I'm seriously thinking about starting hers at 4 months so we can get rid of all this milk. Okay, anyway, that's my update. Thank you, and I thank God, okay, because this is, you know, a lot of people's dreams. Like I just got lucky. Let me just put it that way. I'm not doing anything different. I just got lucky. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for coming along with me with this pregnancy and delivery video. I will see you in my next one. Bye bye. Mwah.